are welcome once again to Family Life with Mama Rita. Family Life series, building stable and happy homes. I hope you had a restful weekend. Hey, as for me, my weekends are always terrible. But God is keeping us. Amen. And I hope you are keeping safe. Please, COVID hasn't gone. Please take good care of yourselves. We started season 2 with raising adolescent children. We looked at introduction to raising adolescent children. And then last week, we looked at adolescent rebellion. This week, today, we want to look at preventing teenage rebellion or preventing adolescent rebellion. I am into gardening. Everybody who knows me, when you come into my home, you see me in my garden. I do my own landscaping, I do my own planting and all that. And raising a child is like nurturing seeds and plants. If it's nurtured in the right climate, right soil, right plant food, it will blossom beautifully. You should come and see my garden. You would think I'm doing something extra. My darling, I'm not doing anything extra. It's the right climate, right soil, water. Some plants don't like too much of watering. Other plants like a lot of watering. Right plant food, and it will blossom beautifully. In preventing teenage or adolescent rebellion, you need the right tools. What are we doing today? We are looking at how to prevent teenage rebellion. Number 1, develop the habit. I hope you have your notebooks and your pens ready. These days, people go high tech. So I hope you are making notes on your phone, notes on your laptop, notes on your iPad. You will need it. And like I said at the beginning, if you've just started having babies, please, they grow so fast. I said 2 weeks ago, I remember the very first day I took Pastor Nana Kosia Kranchi Ankra to Morning Star Nursery. I remember so well. Mm-hmm. Today, Pastor Naka is working as a lawyer. I remember the very first day we took Pastor Papa Kranchi Ankra to Morning Star Nursery. I remember that when I went picking him, his shirts, his shorts were so dirty. Today, Papa is a pastor. They grow so fast. So don't think that I am not there. So this is not me. They are talking to parents with teenagers or parents with growing children. Even if you are not married, make notes because you will get there. So number 1, how to prevent rebellious teenagers. Develop the habit of communicating and having conversations with your children when they are little. Develop the habit of communicating and having conversations with your children when they are little. Sometimes we wait, but if you don't develop the habit of communicating with them when they are little, it becomes very difficult to start when they reach the adolescent age. You must bond with them from when they are very little, from when they are babies, from when they are sucking the breast, from when they are crawling, from when they start walking. My darling, develop the habit of communicating with them. If you don't, and they get to 12, 13, 14, my darling, forget it. They will stay in their rooms from morning till evening. When they see you, all they say is, hi. Hi, daddy, hi, mommy, and they are off. But if you develop that conversation and the habit of communicating with them, even when they are teenagers, they will come discussing everything with you. When a boy comes proposing, they will discuss with you. When they have a crush on a girl, they will come discussing with you. Number 2, make time to listen to them when they want to talk. At a certain age, they like to talk. When they have things to discuss with you, please make time and listen to them. Have a listening ear. Most children start rebelling when they realize that mommy and daddy are too busy to listen. Then what they do is that they make friends outside and they talk about their secrets. I know girls who were raped at age 10, at age 11, at age 12. They tried to talk to mommy. Mommy was too busy to listen. They tried to talk to daddy. Daddy was too busy to listen. So, my darling, if you are listening to me, make time to listen to your children. It's very, very important. Even when they come home with gossips, please, every day, even if it's 5 minutes, make time to talk. If there's somebody bullying them at school, make time to listen. If there's a teacher making things very uncomfortable for them in school, you need to listen. They are more likely to listen to you when they know you value listening to them. Number 3, praise them on good behavior. Praise them for their achievements, and then praise them for their intelligence. When they do something right without being told, praise them. Compliment them when they do the right thing. For instance, they wash dishes without you having to tell them, praise them for it. They tidy up their room. You walk into their bedroom. A few weeks ago, I walked into my last daughter's room, Mawena, and the room was looking so neat. She had changed the arrangement of her bed, her side table, her dressing oh my God. The room was looking so beautiful. I didn't go and say, I've been waiting for this for so long. And you are, no, my darling. If you do that, they won't do it again. So immediately I got to her room and I saw it. I just clapped. I clapped. I said, this is my daughter. This is the one I had on the 27th of March. I said, this is my... Right then, I sat on her bed and we had, I think, about 2 hours conversation. I said, Mawena, now I can breathe good air. You've done so well. You've made me so proud. So when they do the right thing without being told, without being pushed, my darling, you need to acknowledge them. You need to praise them. Number 4, give gifts and presents as motivation. Material rewards, like a new dress, a new bicycle, is motivating enough. Sometimes you don't only praise them, but when you see that they are really, really trying, they are doing well, what you will do is that you also motivate them by giving them a material present. Sometimes a birthday party, my darling, you don't need money to organize a birthday party. Sometimes when we talk about these things, people are calculating their salaries and they are looking at bills, electricity bill, water bill, school fees, and they tell themselves, no, I think Mama Rita is talking to somebody. Let me tell you a story. At this time, my husband, Apostle General, had traveled out of the country, and he was in Holland for greener pastures. You know what? Then I think Papa was 3 years old, and Nanakos was 5 years old. So it was Papa's third birthday party. I think, no, third birthday. By the time I got home, I was working in the bank at the time. I got home around 6 p.m. so tired from counting people's money. Yes, from counting people's money. I was a teller at the bank. When I got home, my house was full. Guess what? At 3 o'clock, Nana Kosia, she hasn't paid me for that. I know she's listening. Nana Kosia, you need to pay me. I got home at 6 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, Nana Kos went to stand at our gate, inviting people. Today is my brother's birthday. My mother is organizing a party. Come. Today is my brother's birthday. He's 3 years old today. My mom is organizing a party. Come. Trust me, that day I wasn't organizing a party. I think it was a Wednesday. I had gotten home so tired. I got home and the house was full. I didn't scold her. I didn't rebuke her. Why did you do this? You know I'm tired. Blah, 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 blah. All I did, I think I didn't even have rice at home. I went out, bought rice, bought oil. Guess what I added to it? Tolo beef. Came to cook. Got to the junction. Bought some biscuits. I bought biscuits. Bought a few toffee. Bought some drinks. I think it was after then that I decided, now let me start hoarding things. When I buy rice, I won't buy American thing. I will buy a bag of rice. So I started buying. Guess what? I got home at 6. By 7 o'clock, I had cooked jollof rice with, I'm not even sure that I really did stew and all that. All I did was cut onions, this sharp thing. Put the tolo beef, fried it, added oil, added just a little of tin tomatoes to color it. And you know when children see anything red, oh, it's jollof rice, my darling. That day, our party was sweet. Hey, that was the best birthday party I had ever organized. Those days, I'm sure, what was it? I think, Shemima. I don't think I bought minerals. I bought Shemima. You don't know Shemima. What juice? Jolly juice. You get jolly juice. Plenty of water to it. We sang. We danced. We laughed. We played games. By 9:30, the party was over. And Papa was happy. Nana Kosia was happy. My darling, these little things. We didn't even cut cake because I hadn't prepared for a birthday party. So these little things go a long way to motivate the children. People look at my children and they say, oh, my children have turned out so well, and children of pastors get rotten, and the way I'm so busy, my children should have been spoiled. I believe these little things went a long way to motivate them. So please, give presents and gifts as motivation. Number 5, my points are a lot. If I'm not able to finish, don't worry. Next week, we'll be on again. Number 5, don't, and I want every parent to listen to this carefully. Don't only be attracted by their mistakes and not the achievements. In other words, we get to be attracted so much by their mistakes that we even forget to look at the achievements. So don't only be attracted by their mistakes. Don't dwell too much on their mistakes. This is not to say you must ignore their errors and mistakes in life. But don't talk about their mistakes all the time. Don't focus on their mistakes all the time. Focus on the achievements, even between husband and wife. If your husband does a very good thing and you compliment him and you talk little about the mistakes, the day is a very serious offense. If you talk about it, they listen. But African parents, as we are, we like to dwell and nag and nag and nag and nag on their mistakes. So don't only be attracted by their mistakes and not their achievements. If you dwell on their mistakes all the time, what you do is that you kill their confidence. You cause them to lie all the time. Somebody called in, was it last week or last 2 weeks, that the child is a professional liar, a chronic liar. My darling, the person could be a professional and a chronic liar because every time you are talking about their mistakes, they see you and they get confused because they don't know what next. Husbands or couples come to me and the wives see their husbands and they get confused. Why? Because they don't know what is happening next. What else the man might see. You come and the food is nice. You don't talk about it. You come and the kitchen is messy and you go on and on and on and on. My darling, when you do this, you cause the person to be a chronic liar. You kill the confidence of the person. You even kill their initiative. And then you stress them too much. Number 6, and please listen. Constantly tell them. I hope you heard me. I said constantly tell them you love them. African parents, we are never used to telling our children we love them. When we were kids, I don't ever remember the day my father opened his mouth to say, I love you. I don't ever remember hearing my mother say, I love you. Well, they will give Christmas presents. They will give birthday presents. Anytime we did well and we never collected a prize, my father would still take us to Carnation Kingsway and buy us a present. It is good. But sometimes the children want to hear you say, I love you, Rita. I love you, Nana Kosuya. I love you, Papa. Please, if I haven't said it in a long while, I'm telling you now. I love you, Nadromo. I love you, Mawena. And anytime I talk to them, especially on phone, I never end the conversation without saying, I love you. Let them hear it all the time. all the time, constantly. Let them hear you tell them, I love you. Assuring them of your love by saying it or giving them hugs is very important. It makes them grow up into secure and confident adults. Some men are not secure. They never feel secure. Some women are never secure. They never feel secured because when they were growing up, they never heard mommy or daddy tell them, I love you. They see their husbands chatting with another woman and there's fire in Soweto. They see their wives chatting with another man and there's fire in Soweto. Why? Because when they were growing up, they never heard the word, I love you. My darling, if you want your children to grow up in security, confident, feeling protected, when you drop them in school, before they get down, remember, mommy loves you. Tell them, remember, daddy loves you. Even when you are beating them, tell them, I'm beating you because I love you. Even when you are scolding them, tell them, I'm scolding you because I love you. If I don't, I won't beat you up and I won't scold you. Number 7. Number 6, before I forget, I mentioned hugging. If you're a parent, you're a mother, you're a father, I want you to listen to me well. When we say hug, it's not a foreign thing. If you learn to embrace your children, to give them hugs all the time, my darling, the day a boy hugs your daughter, they won't feel anything. The day a lady hugs your daughter in school, hey, a gentleman hugs, or a lady hugs your son in school, they won't feel anything. But because you haven't, the first day, and remember we are talking about teenage children, when their hormones have started, sometimes misbehaving. They wake up in the morning and their pencil is rising up. So a lady hugs him and then, hey, it's something else. Start hugging them from the time they are very little. Before they get down from their car, give them a hug and say, mommy loves you. Say, daddy loves you. As you do it all the time, my darling, if somebody in school, some stupid boy in school, goes to say, I love you, it doesn't mean anything to her. Why? Because daddy has told her that I love you so many times. Number 7, don't spite your children. Don't spite your children with the success or positive lives of other children. Don't spite your children with the success or the positive lives of other children. As a matter of fact, what I want to say is that sometimes we compare them with other children. Look at your friend Abigail. She's always first in class. How come I saw you can't be first, my darling? She's first because something is happening in that home. She's first because her father's IQ, her mother's IQ is high. The mother was first in school. The father was second in school. You were 40th in school. And your child is trying. Instead of encouraging your child, You are always using the other child to spite your child, not knowing what is happening in the other home. My darling, the other home, mom and daddy are always giving them hug. Your child is 16. You've never hugged him before. Your child is 17. You've never said, I love you before. Meanwhile, the other daddy next door or adjacent to your home is always saying, I love you, my daughter. You are beautiful, my daughter. You look good, my daughter. I love the way you look. I love the way you smile. So if a stupid boy starts emotionally abusing her by saying you are ugly, she knows it, that ever since she was a child, daddy said she was beautiful. So what the other boy is saying or the husband is saying is a lie. I told you a story one day, I hope you remember that story, where a lady came to see me, a wife came to see me. And I said, do you know you are beautiful? The lady looked at me, hey, Mama Rita, you are lying. You are lying. You are lying to me. And you should see this girl. I mean, beautiful. Look at me, I'm beautiful. So if I say somebody is beautiful, then it means that that person is beautiful. Apparently, from day one of when they got married, the slightest quarrel, the man will go, you are ugly. Nobody will marry you. If I ever divorce you, nobody will marry you. Look at your face like a chere. I don't know a chere in English. A chimpanzee. Meanwhile, beautiful lady. I believe if mommy or daddy was saying you were beautiful, they would have built their confidence so much that in marriage, when the man started saying you are ugly, they would have said, listen, you are lying. Ever since I was a little, daddy said I was beautiful. So you see, all I'm saying is that if you spite your child, you don't know what is happening in another home. Maybe in that home, they are encouraging her, they are encouraging him, they are motivating him by the little birthday parties, by the cake she's been cutting since she was day one, by the Christmas present she receives, by the birthday presents she receives. So you see, all these things builds the confidence of the child that even if she's not intelligent, you see that this term she was 15, the next 10, 12, then she gets to 10th position. By the time you realize, she's 3rd. So don't compare them with other children when you don't actually know what is happening in the other home. Deal with your children on their terms and level. Deal with your children on their terms and their level. This is the 7th. I have 14 points. Maybe what I'll do is, I see a lot of questions coming in. And then 2 weeks ago, we had 2 mothers in the studio. Last week, we had the same mothers in the studio. And people are sending me messages that now they also need fathers in the studio. I will end here with my points. I will come back with my 8 points, my 9 points, my 10th, my 11th, my 12th, my 13th, and my 14th. Maybe by the time I come next week, anytime I dream, my darling, all I dream is family life. Anytime I sleep, the only thing I think about is family life. When I'm eating, so I won't be surprised that between now and next week, I would have had more points. Season 2, my darling, I promise you, season 2 is going to be something else. Family Life Series, building stable and happy homes. I am here with 2 fathers. One face you have seen so many times, and the second face, a new face. Pleasure is mine to welcome to the studio of Family Life Series, Reverend Patrick Yorson. Reverend Patrick Yorson is not new to our screens. You know Reverend Patrick, you've seen him so many times. And in April, is it April?
Yes, next month.
In April, something will be happening. Oh my God. Do you want a teaser? If you behave well, I'll tell you. But so far, I haven't seen you behaving well, so I will wait. The second person, oh my God, this man is Senior Minister Mike Ayiku. Senior Minister Mike Ayiku is the head of our technical and head of our instrumentalists. I haven't seen a selfless man like Minister Mike before. Hey, you would think he's on full time. 24/7, he's here. One day, I think I'd also finished my counseling, and I was going home. And Apostle General had also finished, and he was going home. Around 1 o'clock, here was Minister Mike's car parked at the car park. Then Daddy sent, Apostle General sent for Minister Mike. Daddy told Minister Mike, this church is mine. I started this church. I am going home. I said, go home. You have clothes. Go home. Go to your wife and your children. Every day of the week he's here. He's here checking instruments. He's here with his guys. And my darling, there are 2 men I'm going to bring here. One is Minister Mike. I haven't seen a man raise sons as this man. His home is like a boarding house. It's like a boarding school. When you go there, different people. So this one to who is this? 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 So today, if you see Minister Mike here, Minister Mike qualifies because he's not a father over his biological children alone, but also father over other people's children. Minister Reverend Patrick Yorson, yes, and Minister Mike, you are welcome.
Thank you, Mama.
Reverend Patrick Yorson, you have been here so many times. Yes. I know you also have beautiful, adorable teenage daughters. Don't go into what I haven't discussed.
Okay.
With what I have discussed so far, do you relate to it? How do you see what I have said so far in your home as against other homes?
Thank you, Mommy. So with my children, as you said, engaging them from a very tender age was part of our lives. Because of where we lived, we left him early and came back home late.
Wow.
So we decided that on a weekend, we sit together and eat. And especially on Sunday afternoons, when we come back home, we talk. On Sunday evenings, we sit around the table, we talk about the events of the week, especially when we were not at home, ask about behaviors, who did what was good, what was not good, and we interact generally. We sing and then we pray. So it afforded the children the open door to come close to us. And I see that as a result of that practice, currently, each one of them is able to come to you with any issue, any issue. Sometimes they come to me with issues and I say, go to your mom and talk about this, because we already...
These are 3 girls.
Exactly. We've opened the door and we started from a very early age, as you have advised. So I see it clearly. As you open up to the children, they get to understand that you can discuss every confusion with mommy. If I do not understand something and I go to mommy or daddy, he or she will help me to obtain the understanding. So yes, opening the door of communication is critical for the children to come up to you.
So it means that it is possible to prevent teenage rebellion.
Yes,
it's possible.
It is possible.
Because sometimes we are told that all children are rebellious. When they get to age 10, you see this, you see that, you see this.
More often than not, mommy, rebellion is as a result of suppression. Okay. So if children are not given the room to express their opinion, and as you said, every time he or she did something, or any time you spoke to him, it was when he had done something wrong. You never saw anything positive about him. You never commended him or her, but constantly and consistently said the negative thing about him. Then it comes to a point in time, he or she doesn't even care anymore. He will do what he likes, and more sometimes even do exactly the opposite of what you have told him not to do, because he knows that even if he did the right one, he won't get commendation, but rather insult, abuse. So he will tempt you by doing the wrong thing.
Before I go to Minister Mike, hey, things are happening. Mrs. Abigail Baden. Mrs. Abigail Baden is a designer. If I'm looking beautiful today, I want to say a big thank you to Mrs. Abigail Baden for sponsoring us by sewing this beautiful. I feel so confident. Very, very confident. If you see that today, I am confident. It's because of my dress. Last week when I was done, a lot of people said, Mama Rita, you look so tired. My darling, I look so tired because I wore an old dress. But today, oh my God. Yeah. And when I was coming, my walkings even had changed. Mrs. Abigail Baden lives, or her company is in South Odoko Estate, right opposite Christ Ambassador School. Christ Ambassador School. If you want to look beautiful, like I am looking beautiful now, Abibade Unisex Designs is making me look beautiful today. The first week was also from Renee. Renee, I'm so sorry. Renee, what's her? Arita Couture. Alisa. Oh, Arisa Couture. Oh my God. Arisa Couture makes me look beautiful. Arisa Couture has also decided to sponsor me by making me look beautiful.
Awesome.
Arisa Couture is on the overhead bridge, Achimota overhead bridge. Next week, we will put their numbers on their screens. If you want to sew kente clothes for your engagement, wedding dresses for your wedding, flower girls dresses, bridesmaids, my darling, Arisa Couture is your answer. Thank you so much for making me look beautiful. Minister Mike, I see you raise first maybe your biological children. I saw your biological children being born in Royal House Chapel. I saw them. I saw them when they were adored. I saw them when they were dedicated. I saw them when they were being carried to church. I saw them when they were crawling around. I saw them walking and being compound prophets on the Ahimfie compound. Today, I see how your children have turned out. One an organist, one on a computer, how do you call it?
Well,
PowerPoint.
it's presentation, computer presentation.
A computer PowerPoint, yes, that's the word I want. I see them with behind our PowerPoint. I see your daughter singing with the Rosa Choir. Last year, Royal Ladies camp meeting, she shook the place. How have you been able to do it? Sunday after Sunday, some parents are bringing their children to report them. Yet your children are serving your God. They've all entered into ministry and they are doing so well. They've grown up into sweet teenagers, and I think some have even entered into their 20s. And I don't know how you did it. How have you been able to do it?
Well, thank you very much, Mommy. And I feel very privileged to be called to give everything I have for the youth. And I believe I learned a lot being a Christian. Now, raising Christian children is not that easy, because what children see is what they learn.
I like that.
So
What children see is what they learn.
That's right.
My darling, what children see is what they learn. So if your children are putting up some attitudes, it means that they are seeing something. They are learning from what they are seeing.
number two, what children hear is what they repeat.
What children hear is what you are saying some things.
Yeah.
What children hear is what they repeat. Your children hear you insult mommy all the time. You are a useless woman. Why did I marry you? I don't even love you. Oda chaka. You are not beautiful. Your children hear you insult their daddy all the time. You are a useless man. You are good for nothing. Is this also a man? What are you doing in our lives? You don't even pay school fees. So what the children hear is what they repeat. You are saying some things.
Yeah.
And what the children do is what they see. We need to write a book today. I didn't know you were so loaded. And Minister Mike acts very shy. I mean, he's one of the very, very shy guys I see around.
Yeah.
For Minister Mike to have agreed is a testimony. When I go home, I'm going to fry 2 eggs and eat.
Yes,
And I hope Minister Mike's wife is watching him. Eyes.
she dressed me.
Wow.
She dressed you today. Oh my God.
She's a designer, so
She's a designer.
if I wear
Designer
anything,
and banker at the same time. I don't know how she does it.
yes, if I wear anything which is not good, she will tell me straight. And as I said, what the children hear is what they do. They also say.
They say.
Now, my children see me wearing anything bigger than what I should wear. They'll also say it.
Wow.
Yes. So I believe what their mother said, they heard. So this time they also watch what I wear. And they tell me, Daddy, today what you're wearing is too big.
Wow. They want you to dress like them.
They want me to dress like them because that is what their mother has taught them. So they are, when you watch them, just watch what they wear. Their mother is very very particular about what they were, especially with the female, the two girls. And because we have other children under us, we also have the same thing going through all. Children, my children, and everyone, when I say my children, I had a lot of children
Yes,
coming up.
I'm going to come to that. Recently, we met at an all night. I think this was just before week of the altar, when we had the facilitators all night. And a lot of the guys under you, the technicians, the instrumentalists came and said, I'm who I am today because of Minister Mike. When I came into the church, I didn't even have what to eat. And Minister Mike would always give us food, would always give us money. Minister Mike paid our school fees. Minister Mike gave us accommodation in his home. Minister Mike made us come to mix up with his children. And today, we are working in the bank. Today, we are pastors. I mean, this is not common.
That's true.
How did you start doing that? Taking care of other people's children. I won't say you are rich.
No.
You are average. How were you able to raise a boarding school, boarding house in your home, where children of other mothers, children of other fathers, I mean, so many children were able to stay with your children. They grew up with your children. Some people are today married and on their own. Some people have are done with school. They've gotten jobs, very good jobs. I mean, and it's not like something you've stopped. You are still doing. I meet this person, and you know, because of the COVID, and sometimes I see your children walking with others, and they are holding hands or they are embracing each other. And anytime I see them, you know, I'll stop. Hey, don't you know COVID has come? Don't you know social distancing? Don't you? And then they'll tell me, oh, we actually live in the same home. We are a family. How have you been able to do it? Somebody out there is listening to you and doesn't know that you can affect another child. You can pick a child off the street within the church. Look at children who are I mean, how do you pick these children up? And how did you get the heart to be able to do these things?
Mommy, the greatest thing that any person could do is to lend a helping hand. You don't need all the riches. There's the little that you have is what somebody is looking for. So all you have to do is learn to share. It is not the amount of money, just a little. You give it out, and anybody you give to will be so much happy with
I
you.
like that.
So you get people around you. Now, Winston Churchill said, success is not final.
Success is
It's
not
not
final.
Failure is not fatal.
Hey,
The courage,
we'll write a book today.
the courage,
Start. Success is not final.
Success is not final.
And then
Failure is not fatal.
failure is not fatal. I like that. So if you are failing today, my darling, it's not fatal. And then
It's the courage to continue.
is the courage to continue. Wow.
Is what counts. That's Winston Churchill. Now, I like reading a lot. Any book I see, I pick and read. So that is what I tell anybody who comes, all the youth that comes. All I do is, please, any least chance you get, pick and read. It will come handy in the future. So success being not final means that if you succeed today, it doesn't mean you succeed tomorrow. You need to pick yourself, encourage yourself, and then make that mark again. Wow. If you fail today, it doesn't mean it is the end. So I pick this saying, and whoever I see and I find to be low, I encourage you. I tell you, listen, you think you have failed. You don't know the number of failures that doctor you see over there went through. You can do it.
I like that.
You can do it. Just pick up yourself.
I like that.
If you can't do it, just watch me. I'll help you. So that is what I do, and I pick them up and I tutor them. Any chance I get, I will teach you. Any least chance, because that is what I do to my children. Because you will not get all the time. We wake up early in the morning, we are all rushing to work. They are going to school. They close from school, we close from work, we come late. What can you do to help them? One message you preached that I love to repeat: the children are watching.
The children are watching. I need to go back to that message.
That message.
Because people keep referring me to that message.
The children are watching.
The children are watching.
Really watching.
They are.
The children are really watching. And whatever you do, whatever you say, try to be positive. Learn to say the positive things. Now, everything could be positive and negative, but please learn to change your tongue. Instead of saying, excuse me, foolish, learn to say unwise.
Unwise. Wow.
You get it?
Wow.
So, when my children do something which is not okay, I just tell them, listen, you know what you are doing is unwise. I will not use the negative.
The negative.
So they keep hearing positive things. And I really want to thank my wife also, who picks the children, take their numbers, pray with them, call them. Oh, she calls them. Because she calls them, you know, children are such that when they have a lot of people knowing their, let me use secrets. Too many people knowing their secrets, they coil in. So things that my wife will do with them, I will not do.
Wow.
So she really calls them. She has them, and she calls them, prays with them, and talks to them.
Wow.
As they grow and they become adults, she will also find ways of getting them, getting in touch with them, calling them, finding out whether they have friends of the opposite sex, so that she can also tutor them.
Hey, things are happening here. Success is
not final.
Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. And
the courage to continue.
The courage to continue
is what counts.
My darling, I'll share this story with you. We will go on a commercial break and we will come back with Ask Mama Rita.
Wow.
So he says, for I am the Lord. And if you look at the scripture, the Lord is capital. I am the Lord that he led thee. See, tonight, I don't want you to pray out of fear because you have heard that there's a devastating sickness called pandemic. Last year around this time, we were praying against sicknesses. We didn't know there was a pandemic. So we prayed not out of fear, But we prayed out of faith. And the Lord has kept us, and the Lord is keeping us, and the Lord will keep us. But now we know what we are contending with. So there is a possibility for your faith to be shaken, for you to be fearful, for you to be afraid. But I came here to let you know, thou shalt not be afraid.
Yes.
Because the one who will heal you says, his name is I am. Jesus says, I am the bread of life. Anyone who eats of my body shall never be hungry. The Hebrew version, I am Jehovah Jireh. On this mountain I provide. So anything you see God describe himself in the Old Testament, you see Jesus Christ demonstrating. Your healing has been assigned by death and resurrection. Covenant has already sealed your healing. Your healing comes from his body. I am. I am. Let me introduce the third Hebrew word. El Olam. El Olam. That's what God says he is. The El Olam means I am Alpha and Omega. I am the beginning and the end. El Olam. And then Jesus Christ introduces himself to John the Revelator in chapter 22 verse 30. He says, right, I am Jesus Christ, the Alpha and the Omega. I am Jesus. Jesus.
Welcome back to Family Life Series with Mama Rita. Vika Jews, we say thank you. Because of you today, the studio is full. The Jews you brought them last week gave them energy. Even those who are not on duty today are all on duty. Because they know that after the show, Chale, there will be akpakus. Thank you so much for sponsoring us and refreshing us week after week. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. The courage to continue is what counts. My darling, I told you I was going to share a story. When your children starts failing, in other words, your children becomes rebellious. Don't think that is the end of the world. A bit of encouragement from you changes everything. I'll share you this story. I don't have a permission, but I'll still share it. My daughter, the ever among us, Joshua Namawe Nakranchiankra, when she was a child, there was a party somewhere, and my children had been invited. And I told her she can't go to the party. Why? Because the party was a Sunday. She hadn't finished her homework. And I needed her to finish her homework and then also get her ready for school the following day on Monday. She came to meet older siblings. So some of them were done with school, some of them were on holiday, some of them were in Nachimota. But because she met older ones, she always wanted to feel old. So wanted to go to this party by all means. She came to ask me and I said, Mawena, you can't go to the party because you need to finish your homework. Guess what? I went to rest a bit. Immediately she saw that I was lying on the bed. She dressed up, was the first to go and sit in the car. And in those days, the one who gets to the car first is the one who sits in front. She won't even go and sit at the back. She went to sit in front. Then Pastor Naka And I think Nadromo asked her, didn't mommy say you shouldn't go? She said, oh, mommy changed her mind. Mommy said I can go to the party. So she went to the party. When she came back, instead of keeping quiet, going to do her homework, changing herself into her pajamas, and going to lie quietly in her bed without me knowing, she came back. Hey, mommy. Nana Kusia, Papa, and baby now said the party was nice. Listen. Said the party was nice. They said this happened, this happened, this happened. I said, don't worry. The time will come when you are on holidays. You two, you go to plenty parties. Then the other children came to me talking about the party. So I said, oh, so who and who were there? And they said, oh, this one, this one. And when they went, Mawena even, I said, you said what? Oh, Mawena even danced. I said, you said what? So I called Mawena. Immediately I called Mawena. She knew what she had done. Rebellious. Immediately she came. Mommy, I'm sorry. Mommy, I won't do that again. Mommy, I love you. Mommy, I love you. I would never forget the story. My darling, all I said is that those who tell lies will not go to heaven. And I left the case as it is. She learned her lessons. I didn't have to nag and nag and nag and beat her and say she was naughty and say she's become rebellious or she's a rebellion teenager. I mean, we nag and we nag and we nag and we complain and we complain. Even when the children have apologized to us, the slightest mistake, we go back to what they did. Today, Mawena has turned out so well. And both parents and older siblings are so proud of her. My darling, I hope you are learning something today. Failure is not fatal. Continue doing the good job. And just like Reverend Patrick Yorson and Minister Mike, your children will turn out so well. They will serve your God.
Amen.
They would not only serve your God, but they will do more than you are doing. We are going to go back to our co-host. Oh, the best on this show. I think people even love him more than me. Hey! He's here. We will go to him with the questions. God bless you. Co-host.
Yes, Mommy. Thank you very much.
Hey,
And,
I see the background.
Ah,
Hey, please, are you checking our studio?
we are grateful to God and the Apostle General and of
Yes.
course Mama Rita for making this studio look this beautiful. And social media is actually talking about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see, we are talking about family life, and we want, you can see the home, you can see where mommy's hand is, you can see what daddy is doing. I mean, oh my God, I am loving this. It's made me very confident today. I don't know about you.
It has a lot. It
Hey,
has a lot.
the shirt your wife chose for you is even.
The cloth is from her.
Hey, the cloth is what?
Yeah, it's from her. It's more than my palms are. All right. Thank you very much. You can keep sending your questions through WhatsApp to the lines on your screen, +2 332 515253. This is the Ask Mama Rita session. You can send your comments on social media with the hashtag Ask Mama Rita. AskMamarita across the globe, and Mama Rita and her seasoned counselors will attend to you. Well, we have a testimony to start with. And for those who didn't join us, last week we had a teenager, a sister, sending a question about her teenage sister who was 15 years and had gotten pregnant.
That's right.
And the parents were rushing the sister into marriage just to cover for things. Well, she asked for assistance, and Mama Rita and her counselors attended to her. This is what we have as her feedback. Please, beautiful Mama Rita, good evening.
Good evening.
You look beautiful and gorgeous in that outfit.
Thank you.
Mama Rita, I am Gloria, the young lady who sent a message from Upper East region last week. I want to start off by saying a very big thank you for your advice. Indeed, your God has done it again.
Wow.
After listening to your advice concerning my younger sister's pregnancy, my mom and dad have finally accepted my sister.
Wow.
And they have started taking care of her and the unborn baby. Yeah. Very, very touching testimony.
Wow.
Then
I feel so encouraged.
Yeah. She says, thank you once again for this peace you have brought to my family.
Wow.
May the God of Royal House Chapel bless you, promote you, uplift you. Mommy, I, however, have a question. And she says, my friend told me that anytime she does something for her parents, they never appreciate her. No thank you for any work ever done. She is confused. What can she do to attract her parents' love? The same Gloria from Upper East.
Wow. Gloria, you are such an intelligent lady. I just see your future. And I see that you are going to be a very good wife and a very good mother. I see you getting the best of husbands. You are going to get my kind of husband. I just can see it. Reverend Patrick Yosin, this is the question from Gloria.
Yes, I guess that your parents do love you or appreciate the things that you do, the positive things. However, as we said earlier on, in our culture, your parents are always looking out for ways to correct you and ignore the positives. So you do something, you are expected to do it, so you have done it, and that's all. They are moving on. But as we are learning this evening, I believe you can approach your parents. We have all come to a place of understanding that affirmation boosts our confidence. So you can go to your parents and say, Mommy, it appears that anytime I do the wrong thing, you correct me. But when I do the right thing, you do not praise me. Is it okay to say, oh, Abner, you did well, or AC, you did well with this time? I am sure that your parents will understand and begin to practice that. If you tell them that by saying that to you, it will motivate you to do more in the future, I am sure they will come along with it. So approach your parents in a very humble manner, not to teach them how to raise you, but to ask questions and suggest alternative ways of resolving your confusion. I am positive they will come forward and help you out of it. Yes, Mommy.
Minister Mike, do you have something to add to it?
Just a little. What I want to add is when you see somebody not doing what you expect from him or her, what I have learned is that you repeat and then do for the one. So if the good you have done and it's not being seen, do it for your parents. That is the advice I want. They seem not to see the good that you do. I don't know whether you have given them presents before. When they are celebrating any of their anniversaries, get a very good parcel.
That's good.
And give it to them. you see whether they
Reciprocate.
reciprocate.
Well spoken.
Yeah.
The other thing you could also do is to get your parents to watch Family Life with Mama Rita.
Yes.
I believe that as they watch and they learn, you see, like Reverend Patrick Yorson said, we are such typical Africans. A lot of the things we were not brought up with. So sometimes it's not like they don't love you, it's not like they don't appreciate you, but because of the kind of training we had, we tend to do the children. So yes, they might be making mistakes, but I believe that if you get your parents to watch with you, oh, there's this nice program on telly, Powerline Television. I think I would love us to watch together as a family. As they watch and as they learn, I believe that small, a day at a time, you see them now practicing some of the things we teach. They will start saying, I love you. They will start saying thank you and appreciating you for the things you do. God bless you.
Well, thank you, Mommy. Sometimes they love you. It's not that they don't want to say, oh. When they see you, the thing is poverty. They see you and they see responsibility. They see you and they see school fees.
I like that.
You're even making them angry. I tell you. But it's getting better. It will get better. It is well. All right. Thank you. This is Family Life Series with Mama Rita. Our next question says, Mommy, I must say without a shred of doubt, you have really blessed me with today's topic.
Thank you.
Mommy, to be honest, I have failed my children because I have never allowed them to come close to me. I am always, all the time, busy doing things that will bring money home. Now that they are of adolescent age, I wish I was closer to them than before. What can I do to rewrite this wrong? Emmanuel from Akwitia.
Wow. Reverend Patrick Yosen.
Well, it's never late.
I like that.
Never, ever late, you know.
I like
So
that.
if you have realized that you didn't do something some time ago, please catch up. Even if your children are 16, there's about 5 to 7 more years that they will be with you, or maybe even longer. So make the best of the remaining years of their lives that they are going to stay with you. Get to know what they enjoy and spend time with them. If they like playing football, go out with them to play the football or watch them play football. Be involved in what they are doing. Make the effort to spend some time in each other's lives. And it is important to understand that spending time with children is two-sided. You do the group thing and you do the individual thing, you know, because each one of them have peculiar likes that they may require special attention. So spend time with them as a family, but also find time to spend time with them individually. Then they can open up. There are certain things that they will not like to talk about at the family table. They would like to open up to you when they are with you only. So, my brother, we praise God that by this evening's conversation, you have come to see the light. Begin now. Read about it. Start practicing it. Talk to your children. Get to understand what they like, what they don't like, and become friends. At this time in their lives, since they are older already, they are more your friends than your children, where you scold them and tell them what to do. Open up to them and advise them. And like Minister Mike was saying, set the best example for them. And I'm confident that you will catch up. Amen.
Reverend Patrick, you hinted on some of my points next week.
Okay.
One of my points is having a me time
Right.
with your children. I'll
Right.
go into it next week. A me time,
Right.
M-E,
Right.
with your children. In
Right.
other words, you need time for each one of your children.
Exactly.
It says that better late than never. So this is something you never did when they were growing up. Yes, it's a mistake. This is why the Gans will say nabi, grandchild. Nabi means inabi.
Okay.
You know, we are all first-hand parents. First-hand parents. Nobody knows it all. I believe that I also made some mistakes with my children.
Right.
And I have said to myself, the mistakes I did with my parents, with my children, I will make sure that I won't make that mistake with my grandchildren. So normally when it gets to your grandchildren, the guards will say, you have now had children.
Oh.
In your own children, you were experimenting. You were making mistakes. At the time I had Nana Kosuya, I was poor. Getting balanced food was a problem. So sometimes, like co-host is saying, instead of saying, I love you, you are thinking about where the next meal is coming from.
Right.
You are thinking about where the next school fees is coming from.
Right.
You are thinking about, how to get fuel into your car to drive them to school. So these things doesn't make you show appreciation to your children and do the things that you have to do. But it's never too late.
Never.
If you've noticed it, there's nothing wrong in telling your children, listen, I made mistakes. I made mistakes because I was a young father, I was a young mother. Some of the things I know now, I didn't know it. I made mistakes because I was poor. I was thinking about how to bring income home and blah, blah, blah. Whether your children are teenagers or whether they are in their 20s, it doesn't matter.
Right.
A day at a time.
Right.
Whatever you should have done that you didn't do, let the clock be turned the other way and start it. It's better to do it. Sometimes because of your old age. I know fathers who are 70s and in their 80s. They wish they could have a good rapport and a good communication with their children. But lo and behold, they never train their children that way. But trust me, it's never late. Minister Mike.
Reverend said it all. You need to catch up.
I like that. They need to catch up.
Yeah.
Yes, Jesus said, come and follow me. When somebody says, come and follow me, it means the one is moving. So if you want to catch up, you need to double up your steps.
I like that.
Your children are always with you. You never knew. Now you know. Study each one of them. Never, ever go to their weaknesses. If you want them to come close to you, highlight their strong points and encourage them. Speak to them individually and then collectively. Let them know that you love them.
That's right.
The youth of today are more likely to come to people who encourage them than people who always speaks negative things.
Who say in the typical language, hi. If you do your children hi, they won't come to you. When they hear your car horn, they run, cover themselves, and pretend they are sleeping. They are not sleeping. They are doing your children hi too much. Please, what's hi in English?
He might. Yeah.
So you do that to bring them to yourself closer. And because you have not learned so much, I will say you have family life with you.
That's right.
Listen and listen and learn.
All right. Listen and listen and learn. It's never too late to rewrite that wrong. We have quite a lot of complimentary messages also coming.
Wow.
Eunice Abrakwa says, I'm Eunice. I'm really enjoying the program. God bless you, Mommy.
Thank you.
Lamte Jessica also says, God bless you, Minister Mike. I salute and honor you on this platform as our leader for media and instrumentalist department.
I like that.
Well,
And then, sorry,
Yes,
as
Mommy.
you are listening to us, I gave a testimony about Minister Mike. If you are one of them who has benefited from the care and the love of Minister Mike, you lived with him, he paid your school fees, he was giving you money for transportation, and you want to send us messages, you can do it, and then we will read it for you.
Yeah.
awesome. This one says, Mommy, my name is Mike. I want to know, as a parent, my 90-year-old daughter walked up to me and told me she is crushing on someone. What at all should I tell her?
Minister Mike, how old is your daughter?
She's getting to 20 now.
She's getting to 20.
So she's
And
19.
19
It's a girl.
year. Yeah, a girl.
Yeah. So she's 19, getting to 20. If she comes to you and says, Daddy, I have a crush on one of your instrumentalists or one of your technicians or one of the Rosa guys, what will you tell her?
Have you crashed your Wasi resort yet? Crash on someone. All right, Mr. Mike, over to you.
Yes, when you have teenage children, what advice I will give to you is to make sure their friends visit the house.
Okay.
So you can also assess as they come. So you bring them home, make sure you study them. So whoever crashes, you come to the house. I will
And
see
crash.
A crash in the house.
I will see you. So you invite them. Don't allow that to worry you. Let your parents know. Bring them home. Let your parents also assess them. They have gone through your stage already. Let them also assess them. And they can tell you something good.
Reverend Patrick.
Yeah, I guess I'll go along with what Minister Mike is saying. The fact is that a lot of times parents would like to tell you to wash away your crush feeling. And I am sure that if you ask your father or your mother when he had a crush, what did he do, he won't be able to tell you. So it's not something that you can just sweep under the carpet and forget about it. And it's something that is bothering your daughter. This is why she has come to you with it. So the best way is to explain to her exactly what she's feeling. That this is an emotion that she's having. And as we all know, emotions are fleeting. They might not last. But if you tell her to forget about it, she will not accept it from you. So try to understand that this her and ask her, invite the gentleman if the gentleman is coming. Because sometimes this crush that she has on somebody, the person may not even be aware. Your daughter may not have
That's
approached
exactly.
the person. You know, so this is a secret crush kind of. And so she can't just wash it away. Anytime she sees this young man or young man speaks, you know, something happens to her. Try to get to understand that and explain to her that it is normal at that age to have these kinds of emotions and feelings. However, you shouldn't let that drive you to do anything during the time that you are having this feeling. Because most of the time, like anger, when you make a decision in your anger, you will make the wrong one. So you make a decision when you have a crush or go near this guy because you have this emotion about him. Probably he doesn't like you at all. He doesn't want to see your face at all. Doesn't want to see your shadow. So be careful about this emotion. It is normal and natural that a young lady will have that feeling. But talk to your mom about it, talk to your dad about it. And then if it is possible to be friends with this person, sure, why not? But like Minister Mike is saying, bring him home so that your father, your mom will advise you on how best to manage this emotion. This is what I would say.
Well spoken. Your daughter is having a crush on somebody. Number one, is that person also having a crush on her? If the crush is one-sided, in other words, it's your daughter who is having the crush on the gentleman, all you are saying to your daughter, exercise a bit of patience. Maybe you have a crush on him, but he doesn't. He might not even love you. He might not notice you. He might not be thinking about you. So you know what? It is normal to have a crush on somebody. But what we can do is, maybe you think I'm old school, but what we can do is let's pray about it. If this is the man for you, God will bring him your way. So in other words, if this is the man for you, God will bring him to come and propose. But then if the crush is from both ends, the lady is beginning to have a crush on the gentleman, and then the gentleman has begun to make moves, what you do is you invite the gentleman home, get to know the gentleman. And then we are also looking at the age. We are looking at the age. If the child is 13, 12, 14, then you go with Pastor Chief Ape. Have you had a crush on your JSS? I mean, you let them know that it's too early for that. It is normal to feel the way you are feeling, but there is timing for everything.
Correct.
But then, please listen. If your child is 18, 19, don't discourage them. I had one child here who entered into Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology at age 16. By 17, she was in second year, 18, third year, 19. So these days, the children grow up very fast. I always encourage the young ones. As of first year is a no for relationship. First year, you are not warming up in school. First year, you are getting to know all the guys. First year, you are getting to know all the ladies.
Mommy, tell the final year students, they don't have patience for the first years.
So
Especially University of Ghana.
if you are in the final year and you've met somebody in the first year, give the person time. You're a gentleman in the final year and you are having a crush on somebody in the first year. Please, what you can do is to become friends with the person. Allow the person to settle down. It's very, very important. Remember that the university is a new terrain. It's a new terrain. They are growing up. They are getting to know themselves. They are getting to accept the courses, the subjects, everything is mixing up in their brain. So allow them to settle down in first year. Let them get to know how to study, how to wake up, how to go to lectures. Then by second year, so if you're a parent and your child in second year meets somebody, don't discourage them. The only thing is that you advise, tell them to be careful. Second year, you are still young. You are still studying. I'm not saying don't fall in love. I'm not saying don't have a crush. But know how to balance your academic work and then your relationship. As much as you can, concentrate on your study. Have time for everything. Concentrate on your studies. Get to know the guy more and then very well. I know parents who have discouraged their children from entering into relationships whilst they are in university. They finish university, finish their masters. They are 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and nobody is coming. Now, who calls them? It is you. You discourage them from making friends and entering into a relationship. So, what should you tell your child? Number one, it depends on how old she is. If she's in the university, that's fine. But if the person is not in the university yet, and early stages of adolescence, please ask her it is normal, but she should take her time,
Right.
and the right time will come.
The right time will definitely come. This is still Family Life series with Mama Rita on Powerline TV. We are live on Facebook, Sam Crunchy, Ankara. Send your questions through. Let's get talking on social media with the hashtag AskMamaRita, AskMamaRita. Mommy, we go to this one. It's an SOS from a troubled mother. Good evening, Mama Rita. I'm a single mother of 2 kids, a boy and a girl. The boy happens to be the younger one, also an adolescent, and currently in the secondary school. Mom, I've just found out yesterday that he's joined a bad gang. He's very calm at home, but apparently a different person when he is with his friends. I went through his phone somehow and I got to realize that he is into scamming with his friends. This is a very shocking news to me. I read from one of his chats with a Malam from whom he was seeking for help to be successful in his scamming trade. What can I really do about this? Please help me.
Reverend Patrick.
So, the first thing that will happen to any parent is panic.
The shock.
I've lost my child. What is happening under my nose? Right here in this house, I didn't know my son. I think you should just calm down.
I like that.
First of all, calm down. Do not lose hope. Do not be discouraged. God has opened your eyes to see it. It means that He does have a solution for you, and we will be able to. He will be able to guide you to win back your son. First of all, make an effort to befriend your son. Do not approach him with, quote unquote, a bullet. I want to shoot you for what you have done. No. Approach him friendly and begin to inquire into how he got to meet these people and what they are into. And it should be very inquiring. No judgment, no sentencing, no invocation of curses or anything like that. You know, try to get to understand your child and then begin to explain to him that the consequences of such acts, people who walk that line, never end in the right place. Your hope, your plan, your expectation for him is that he will walk on the right path so that he will arrive at the right place. But choosing this path is not likely to take him to the place that you dream of he getting at. And begin to find out ways of getting him out of that gang. And then I am confident that as a first step, you begin to build that confidence with your son. He will tell you more, then you'll be able to find a full solution. I don't know if you go to church or if your children go to church with you at all. Because if your children are contacting Malams, then it probably means that they do not go to church. So if you do go to church, then get your pastor involved and get to understand if he has even already done some covenants or certain things that are dangerous to his own spiritual future, that they can break this. But all of this has to be done gradually in a friendly and loving manner. Otherwise, he will just close up and you won't hear anything, you won't see his phone, you won't know what is happening, and you might lose him completely.
Minister Mike, is there anything you'd want to add to it?
I think he said a lot. And if he's able to follow the steps, I was also going to talk about the spiritual aspect, because that is a very dangerous area. And if the parents or the guardian could bring the son back to the fold and inquire more of what he's gone into, so that he could be guided as to how to come out of those ones. When you are in a pit, you cannot come out till somebody pulls you out. So he will not be able to help himself. So every help the parent could give, but it shouldn't be, like he said, with a gun, or it should be very accommodating. You don't speak any, you don't repeat the bad things he has done. Get out of it. Let's do what the positive things that you want him to do. The son is already in the pit. Now, what can I do to bring him out? Church, fine. He'll do it. The gang, that is the next thing. How was he able to get in contact with them? That link must be broken. Yes, so if he's able to break that link, at least you have him to yourself. You can monitor him. And I hope he's living with the parent. If he lives with the parent, then it means he had too much time to do other things. So you need to get him occupied. So if you occupy him, if you're able to occupy him enough, at least you get him out of it with the other things that Reverend Patrick said.
So they've spoken everything. It is very normal to start panicking. But my darling, don't panic. The Bible says that there's no temptation that is beyond us. So in other words, whatever is happening, you can handle it.
That's right.
So first, relax. Cool down. Don't panic. Take it a day at a time and a bit at a time. Sit down with your son, like what Reverend Patrick said. Find out how deep he's gone. If the child sees that, number one, you are panicking. Number two, you are being judgmental. Number three, you are fretting. He won't tell you everything. So this is the best time to show him love. Show him love. Give him the best of attention. So number one, don't panic. Number two, cool down. Number three, sit down with him. Find out how deep he's gone into it. If you belong to a church, get your pastor involved. What the pastor is doing is that he's praying with him. If he's already gone into it, we have to take him through deliverance. And then, if you think you can handle him, that is fine. But if you can't, get a professional counselor. If your pastor is matured enough to handle these issues, you can give him to your pastor. And then number four, remember that he's a gang. He's in a gang. Whatever you are doing, the other parents must also do the same. So if you can get the other parents involved, let him give you the names and the numbers of the parents. Call the parents. Before you call them, tell them there's something happening. They shouldn't panic. You've started handling it, and you believe they can also do the same thing. And this is what you are suspecting. You don't know who started it. So you don't say that those friends are luring your son into bad. You don't know who started it. So all you are saying is that your son and their children have entered into a bad company, and this is what they are doing. And you would want them to come together to help your children. So what you are doing is you are discussing what is the best way. Each one should talk to their children on their own. And then sometimes, but you need to stir the waters and find out about the school. If the headmaster or the headmistress has what it takes to handle it, you also need to get the headmaster or the headmistress involved so they can monitor the children. If they have school counselors, the school counselors can also come in, and then maybe at assembly or whatever, the case can be taken. And not targeting them, but generalizing it. For all you know, a lot of students in the school have gotten into it. So this is something you take it a day at a time. Don't panic, don't fret. And then the next thing is the spiritual aspect, where you as an individual, you as the mother or you as a father, you are entering into a period or a season of fasting and prayer. My darling, you don't know the extent to which your son or your daughter has gone into it. So begin to fast and begin to break chains. If you are not the church-going type and you haven't gotten into it, get a church like Royal House Chapel. Get us involved, and we will help your son. We know of so many children, especially boys, who've entered into this when they were in secondary school. Sometimes it's a bit exciting. Other friends are doing it, so they also must do it. But once the parents get to know, they bring them to us, and somehow, they turn around, they get back on track, they are able to finish school, and then they do so well. I think it's so late.
Yes,
Maybe
if you don't mind, we can
the
take
last-
just a compliment.
Yes, a
This one's,
compliment.
but this is a contribution. It says, we have had crashes growing up.
Wow.
We got to them and realized there was nothing about them to like. Your daughter could be guided to know this person better. If nothing positive comes out, I'm sure she would advise herself and come out of that crash safe.
I like
this
that.
is from Francisca. And then we have this one from Henry, the final message for the night. And we've had some actually troubling messages, but given the time, one was about a physical abuse in front of kids in the house. So for those individuals, we may reach you during the week, or next week we would attend to your comments. This one is from Henry. Says, I want to take this opportunity to say a very big thank you to Minister Mike. He has impacted my life in so many ways. He has been a father and mentored me. Above all, he has impacted me with the gospel. God richly bless him. God bless you, Mommy, and God bless your entire panel.
Amen.
I am really enjoying this special series.
Amen.
Thank you, Mommy.
Thank you so much. When the thing is very sweet, I'm telling you,
Time is short.
you don't even watch the time. I thought we were going to close at 8:30. I just stared at my phone and realized that, I'm in trouble with Apostle General. I've gone beyond the time. But thank you so much for being a part of Family Life Series with Mama Rita. Family Life Series, building stable and a happy home. Today, your family is not stable. Today, your home is not happy. But as you continue to listen, trust me, things will be well. Tomorrow, you will be the one sitting here sharing your testimony of how family life has impacted your life, your children, and your whole home. God bless you. Make a date with me one more time, same day, same time next week. And we will continue with how to prevent teenage rebellion. Mama Lizzie, Dr. Lizzie Parks, one woman who never misses family life. She's always there to comment on everything, from my dress to my looks, to how tired I was looking, to how I was doing well. Thank you, Auntie Lizzie, Dr. Elizabeth Parks, for being there for me. You have been a shoulder I have cried on. You have encouraged me. You have helped me. You have run the race with me. And together, God has brought us where we are. Thank you so much for being a good sister and for being a good friend. God bless you. And to all my guys at the studio, I say thank you and God bless you. We will see you same time. Reverend Patrick Hilson and Minister Mike, you did so well. And I believe that we'll be having comments. Bring them back.
Yes.
God bless you and I love you.
Thank you, Mommy.
So he says, for I am the Lord. And if you look at the scripture, the Lord is capital. I am the Lord that healeth thee. See, tonight, I don't want you to pray out of fear because you have heard that there's a devastating sickness called pandemic. Last year around this time, we were praying against sicknesses. We didn't know there was a pandemic. So we prayed not out of fear, but we prayed out of faith. And the Lord has kept us, and the Lord is keeping us, and the Lord will keep us. But now we know what we are contending with. So there is a possibility for your faith to be shaken, for you to be fearful, for you to be afraid. But I came here to let you know, thou shalt not be afraid.
Yes.
Because the one who will heal you says, his name is I am. Jesus says, I am the bread of life. Anyone who eats of my body shall never be hungry. The Hebrew version, I am Jehovah Jireh. On this mountain I provide. So anything you see God describe himself in the Old Testament, you see Jesus Christ demonstrating. Your healing has been assigned by death and resurrection. Covenant has already sealed your healing. Your healing comes from his body. I am. I am. Let me introduce the third Hebrew word. El Olam. El Olam. That's what God says he is. The El Olam means I am Alpha and Omega. I am the beginning and the end. El Olam. And then Jesus Christ introduces himself to John the Revelator in chapter 22 verse 30. He says, right, I am Jesus Christ, the Alpha and the Omega. I am Jesus. Jesus.